Hey, listeners, are you getting inspired to dive deeper into your learning of EFFT? If so, head on over to Catherine's website to check out her list of upcoming trainings. Some trainings are focused on combining EFFT with young kids and EFFT play therapy. So head on over to her website and we hope to see you in the future. Check it out at KATHRYNDEBRUIN.com, CatherineDeBruyne.com, and we hope to see you in the future. Ready? Welcome back to our amazing listeners and everyone joining us today. Welcome back to the podcast with Catherine DeBruyne and Rhonda Evans, the Family Express. I say it every time. I know I do. We have an amazing guest in store for y'all today. Coming out of Atlanta, the Atlanta area, we have Robyn Stewart-Amarra, a licensed marriage and family therapist with some background in individual work and really leaning into systemic work. Robyn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and making time. Well, as kind of is usual for our podcast, let's start with your journey into systemic work, EFFT in particular.
Okay, that's a big question, but an
I
awesome one.
know, I know. So not focused. I hear you.
Thank goodness I thought about this before. Um, I think what pulled me into the field initially was just a love of development and behaviors, and recognizing behaviors as not something yucky and naughty, but more or less a form of communication. Like every behavior solves a problem. And it was at the time when I started in the field, that was something that a lot of people didn't look at, right? It was a top down approach instead of you need to do it this way. And I was kind of always geared towards, I don't want to like punish these kids. Like they're talking to us. We're the adults. Where are we helping them? So that pulled me into my journey with Floor Time, which is just a really individual, developmental, relational model that looks at kids from a social emotional standpoint and a ladder, and fell in love with that. It was truly a bottom up approach that looked at where are we developmentally, socially, emotionally, and it really just honored where a kid was. I loved that so much because it wasn't asking them to be something that they weren't. And it
I can see
also
it in your
challenged.
eyes. I can
What's
see
that?
I can see it in your eyes. As you say, it's a bottom-up approach, and I loved it so much.
I do. I don't do anything that I don't love. I'll say that. But it's it was just really wild and cool because I also changed for the better with that model. I
Mm.
slowed down. Like I had to learn. I got to learn. I didn't have to learn. I got to learn how to approach a kid without an agenda. And that was a soul crushing,
Wow.
ego crushing existence in itself, right? Because I was in my 20s too. So that was a unique time developmentally also to be like, don't have an agenda, don't have an ego in this. But it was one that to this day I'm so grateful for. And for the women, my mentors who really stayed patient with me. um, and just really nurtured that and answered so many of my questions. And every time I thought I'd gotten it, and they were like, Robyn, not yet, not yet. When I said, well, it's okay because I'm thinking to myself, I won't have an agenda. And they were like, Robyn, thinking about having an agenda is having an agenda. And I was like, it was, but I did it. And learning how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Like that was such a neat experience that allowed me to have a moment to join these kids that at the time I was working mostly with lower functioning, moderate functioning kids on the spectrum. This was a long time ago. I know there's different language now for it, but this was 23 years ago, and 20 years ago. And these kids, they just wanted to be kids, and to be able to be with them in that. And sometimes it was uncomfortable because I was doing the same thing over and over again for 60 minutes, but it
Mm.
was what they needed. It was never about me, it was about them. And I think truly being able to embrace that within a model is probably one of the biggest gifts I've had in the field of psych. Those kids changed me.
Yeah, because top-down approaches, you have an agenda, right? Like you
Mhm.
expert, I know it's good. Here's what you need. Let me direct you, in some way or fashion. Bottom up is we'll do a little bit of a dance of follow and leading. I gotta trust the process. This must be serving a purpose and a function. If I can lean into what this could be, you really got to be able to put yourself aside as the clinician to join their world and to learn who is this little person in front of you.
It was an incredible moment. I have one kiddo that stands out in my mind that we worked together for about 10 years. And there was a big thing way, way back about perseverations and kids that would script. And they were like, get him to stop, get him to stop. And so one day I was just listening and I realized he was using scripts and lines from movies to tell me how he felt. It matched an emotion. Uh-oh, did I lose you?
Yeah,
Okay, there you are.
let's just repeat that one again.
Okay.
You had it go ahead and restart.
Yeah, like it was really cool because he would continuously script one line from Toy Story, say hello to the prospector. And so I would just say it with him sometimes and he would just giggle. That was him having a conversation with me. Was can we and we would say it in different tones and we would giggle and I would change it up or say the next line. And we created this whole back and forth, but there were also times Finding Nemo was a big one for him where he would use lines from Finding Nemo to tell me how he was feeling, whether he
Mhm.
was happy or he felt lost. And it was just, ugh, it would make me cry just thinking about it now. Like it's just what is lost when we don't just stop and listen and we just don't be with people that need us to be with them. And it's a
Mm,
real honor to be able to be with them.
mm. I'm just sitting with that for a second.
Yeah.
And I'm taking this example of this one particular child and I'm wanting to generalize it a bit.
Yeah.
Um our clients show up on the way that they do, and it's kind of
Mm.
our job to attune to them.
Yep.
Our job to attune to them and lean into their world. And again, trust the process, be with them to maybe have a chance to understand them. And
Mhm.
from there, we can co-create something new. Like that is not a top-down approach, right?
No, not at all. It takes creativity. It takes someone who's willing to take chances. It's being confident in a relationship that if there's a rupture, that we can repair it. There's
Right.
safety in that. We all make mistakes. I've misattuned. I've done those things. Being able to apologize and have humility with someone too and say, oof, I really missed that one. I missed the mark and know that it's not the end of a relationship. I mean, we're really modeling. I think that's what really started speaking to me with EFFT is that secure attachment. We are spending as much time as we need with a family because we don't know everything that's happened historically before we got there. I have one family that I put in notes to talk about later, but I think here's a good place. I mean, it's a complex family and they'd heard so many times, we don't work with families like yours. We don't know anybody who does cases like yours. Things like that. And those are the families that it's just like my heart automatically has an open door for. It's like, come in, come in. You're home. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And, we're going to make mistakes, but it's just such gratitude to be there with individuals and to not have any expectations except for let's make a relationship first. Let's get to know you first. I always say there's 3 layers. It's like, then I want to know if there's neurology at play. And then it's okay, what's important to you? What are we going to do here? Like what's going to show up, what's popping up? And it doesn't have to be the same thing every day. Like I expect you to be different from who you are last week when I saw you. I expect life to have changed you. I want you to grow. I want you to be different. I want you to have had different experiences. And so you can't have that agenda. You can't have those expectations. You truly have to look at them like, I know your heart, but like, what's going on? Where are we today? You know?
Yeah. Let's see if I can capture some of that. So you're saying you expect the person in front of you to be different from when you saw them last.
Yeah.
And so there's because of that, it sounds like you approach and you come to the appointments and you come to them relationally open. Like,
Yes. A
where
lot
are
of
you where are you
curiosity.
at today? Where are you at today? What's transpired in the days I saw you last? And
We
then you said
start
a
with
really great thing that
curiosity.
I want to capture again. What are the three things? What are those three things, those layers you said?
Oh, so I want to know, who are you?
Who are you? Hmm.
Who are you? And then I think neurology is a big thing that I did fall in love with EFFT also, is that neurology, neurodiversity, neurospicy. I love all the words for it now. Like, there's a place for it, right? Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how it shows up in the family dynamic. How's it making something pop for mom and dad? And we're like, ooh, I do that. How does it feel to be a mom or a dad that feels they're getting too much? Oh, that's a good question. How did you find your footing? I think I'm still trying to find it, Catherine. um, no, like how to like there's just so much curiosity always. Like there could be a situation that would show up for a family and they felt that they slighted another child in the family by having to attend too much to this one. And so I think by having that curiosity, it doesn't put aggressive, overly assertive demands on a parent or a child to show up in a certain way. It's that the non judgment based approach of EFT, right? Like Sue Johnson. She was all for, like, we're not going to judge. We're dancing with them. And it's, if I have a judgment or an expectation, I can't really dance, you know? You may want to do the tango today. I don't know. You might want to do the salsa. I don't know.
I love that.
I'm here for it. So I try to keep it open in that way. Um, and then finding my footing with all of this, I think it was how it made my nervous system feel in it, right? Like it just feels so good when you can push out, maybe selfishly, I can push out all the stuff happening in the world and like just sit with someone, right? And just be, and you get to be blank and you get to focus on one thing, it and help someone. I think I have a helper heart.
Oh,
I've always loved that, like just being able to create a safe space, you know. A lot of us, I think, find ourselves in the therapy world because maybe there are moments that we had that we didn't feel safe. So being able to create that for others is not just like a professional goal. I think for me, I would say it's personal too. You know, being able to make sure that I have that safe space for kids as well as adults because they're
this
just
is
not
so
kids.
heartfelt, Robyn. It's so nice to get to know you, and it's evident in just sitting with you that you have such wonderful energy and enthusiasm and fun, and you're trained in so many different things and so well. And yet, as you meet with each person, you start just coming into yourself, and your main goal is, how can I be a human being with you, and how can
Yeah.
I help a safe place? How can I make a safe place with you and with us, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing to learn to do in our EFFT world, is to slow down and trust ourselves, to be ourselves, and to create a moment of meeting. And I'm just curious, like, how did you learn to do this?
I'm still learning how to do the slow down process. Because when I was speaking with my boss and something he said really caught me, that I'm going to say I'm not embarrassed to share, but I think it's important to share, is that as much as with floor time, I learned how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. This is so vulnerable. I have become in some ways uncomfortable being so comfortable in a place, right? So it's like, is it supposed to feel this good? Am I supposed to love my colleagues so much? Am I supposed to love a model so much? Like, it feels so safe and comfortable that it's uncomfortable in a way, right? So
It's
I think
we have few and far between experiences, I think, to feel so comfortable.
yes, it's wild.
To feel so accepted, so belonging, kind of in becoming into ourselves. And then I think about my clients and how few experiences they've had of that. And I'm trying to help nurture and facilitate a similar experience, right? So I
Mhm.
totally get what you're saying about, is it supposed to be this comfortable and feel so good?
It's almost, and I think that stops me because of my own neurospiciness. I mean, I've got ADHD that can be intense on a given day. So sometimes I can feel like I have ants in my pants anyways, or a little uncomfortable in my own skin. But feeling comfortable, like, I think it goes against the grain of what my own homeostasis does, but how it's changed me also. Like, where I find myself wanting to lean into that. I want more of that, that I'm truly changing my own homeostasis through creating environments to help others feel a different homeostasis and potentially help them help themselves with that too. That, like, it's okay, because I struggle with it. And I think other people do sometimes. We don't talk about that, right? That the minute somebody feels safe, they're supposed to just be like, yes, that's awesome. I want that all the time. Changing that dynamic can be very overwhelming, like from a nervous system place, from an intellectualized place. Like, it can really be overwhelming. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I'm just so appreciative of you taking a moment to just share so honestly. And yeah, it makes perfect sense that, Robyn, sometimes when you're just in your fullness and you're being authentic and genuine, it feels so amazing. And then we all have this part of our brain that goes to, is this okay? Should I be doing
Mhm.
it? Right? What therapy? This has to feel like a job, a job, right? And so,
Mhm.
yeah, we can get uncomfortable with just being present and in a moment. But like Rhonda was saying, it's such a hard place to come to for so many human beings. It's so essential. And it's so beautiful to know that you've accepted yourself and your goodness and you told us such a lovely story, the Pollyanna story. I would love to have you tell our listeners.
Oh, the Mary Poppins
Oh,
story.
Mary Poppins, not
But I do
Pollyanna.
love Pollyanna. I love it when she falls out of the tree. Okay. Like, come on. She's got her own spiciness. I'm like, yes, girl, get out the window and fall off of that tree. um, with Mary Poppins, maybe that's a place where it was the first time a foot touched the ground. I don't know if both are on the ground yet, but I'm okay with that. I don't want to force myself to do that. I think that's what's been really cool in my supervision process for certification, is just being like, okay, wow, let's start ground up, right? Like, no matter how much experience you have, no matter what you know, it's still like, all right, I'm learning a new language. I'm learning something cool. I'm learning something new. Let's just start from the beginning. But with the Mary Poppins story was, I'd always kind of gathered this reputation of the last ditch person, right? Like, nobody else can fix it. Send him to Robyn, right? Like, Robyn's got this or whatever. And it was just Mary Poppins coming in. We all know that. Well, I can't assume everybody knows, but I like to think everybody knows Mary Poppins coming in with her umbrella and her bag, and she comes in magically. She's got all these things, and spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, right? This is Robyn. She's got this big magic bag of tricks. And it started to get a little bit frustrating because it was like, I'm coming in, these families are experiencing lots of emotions, and there's high expectations, and it's kind of like, as I reflect back on what we've already been saying, it's kind of takes the humanness out of us to a therapist, that like, we're going to make mistakes. Is kind of, I think about it a little differently, that there's a lot of pressure in that, right? Fix this, and that I found it a joy because I love complex, but there's a lot of pressure. And so when I found EFFT, what happened was, it felt like I'm Mary Poppins, but I get to unpack my bag. I don't have to fly in anymore. Like I can actually be present with individuals and that the bag's unpacked. I don't have to keep it gathered up. It doesn't have to stay. I don't have to disconnect from my clients to be like, okay, that didn't work. So let me find this one in here. And that it really created a huge shift of, I don't want to be known for fixing people. Like, this isn't about fixing people. This is about sitting with people, being with people, not disconnecting from them. Like, it's just being. That belonging is becoming, but I could never do that until I got to unpack the bag. Everything that I'd learned and experienced in life leading up to it just all of a sudden made sense. It was like, we don't need to fly around anymore. Like, it's here. Like, this is where we need to stay. We're home, and let's unpack this bag and let's do what we can do. And so that was an overwhelming experience to be like, I don't have to fly in anymore to people's homes. Like, this is really cool. Like, everything makes sense here. Like, they can come to me because people know I want you to be in here. I am excited. I'm not a last ditch attempt anymore. This isn't about fixing you because I don't think anything's wrong with you. You don't have strep throat. I want you to be here because you want to be here, and we get to learn about you and what's important to you, not what people want you to do and what you're doing wrong. So that was like a huge shift for me, is to be like, this isn't about fixing people anymore. I don't want that.
It's like, I'm not going to do something to you. I'm going to just see you and be with you. And as you started seeing the client in front of you, and instead of just seeing their behaviors or the problematic pieces, you started just saying, hey, who are you? I want to be curious and sit down next to you and just get to know who you are and why you are and where you are right now. That's part of how you, because that's such a cool story. It's like, how did you unpack the bag and just step into that moment of, I'll just be with you? That's a very hard place, Robyn, for therapists as well as for parents, especially when their kids are in so much distress, right? Like, we just want to step in and make it better. Like, the worst thing possible is when your kid is having a hard experience. You will do anything to help them feel better and to take that away. And like, you're being called in as Mary Poppins into the hardest of situations to fix it, and there's expectation and urgency and crisis. How on earth does one slow down in a moment like that and then just sit, you know?
I have a client who came to my mind right away as you said that. And it's a current family. There's a lot going on, so I'll be careful about that. There was a situation that the dad has been going through something, and he made a comment, and it's medically based, but he made a comment saying, I feel like I'm retarded. And his wife kept saying, and that's a trigger word for me. Also, having worked with kids on the spectrum, but I was like, nope, push it down, Robyn. It's not about that right now. That's not what he means. Listen. And his wife started going, you're not retarded. You're not this. And I heard his voice get louder, and that was very difficult for him. And I said, guys, I want to stop for a moment. And I was like, Dad, gosh, you've gone through so much. Makes total sense that you feel retarded. What a huge change in your life. Of course you would feel retarded right here, right now. Thank you for letting us hold that with you. Anytime you feel that way, what an honor to hold that with you. He has not brought that up again. It was letting the air out of it. It was a search for there's grief. I mean, there's trauma in this, right? And it's like, that's how he felt. And he was trusting us to hold that. And I think that honor is something that does work well to hold me in place when someone's saying something deep from their tummies, like, hey, this is how I feel. It is not my job to talk you out of it. Because that's for me. That's not for you. Like, I'm not here to do things for me. That's not what I'm getting paid to do. I'm getting paid to make a space so that you can say exactly how you feel. And that's okay. That does not mean you're going to feel that way forever. It means that's where you're at right now, today, maybe tomorrow, who knows. And I'm going to hold it with you. And you don't have to sit there alone. How scary is that? And then how scary is it for somebody to come in that you love to try to talk you out of it and know that it's because it scares that person and you care. He cares about his wife so much. But like, no, that's how you feel. Let's sit there. You feel retarded. And
Yeah.
that feels awful. You've done so much in your life, and here we are. This is not fair.
Yeah.
Like, what an honor to hold that space. I think when I remember those pieces, it holds me a lot stronger to slow down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in that moment, to use the words of that example, in that moment, my pain is that I feel retarded.
Mm-hmm.
That is my pain point in that moment. And if the next thing I hear is to be talked out of it, my body immediately knows you didn't just join me then. You didn't meet me there, right?
Yeah.
You tried to pull me up to where you are or something, right? And so joining people in that pain, whatever that pain sounds like and looks like at any given moment, it's really rare to be joined in that moment. It is really rare. And our bottom up approach, our EFFT approach, I think obviously that's what we're trying to help people do, is get to the pain and then help someone come to them in their pain, right? And
Yeah.
we have to do an EFFT is the kids' distress does something to the parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not having to, we are helping shore up that parent in whatever impact they're going through in the moment, so they can then turn around and respond to their kid and meet their kid in their pain, whatever that pain looks like and sounds like in that moment.
Yeah. It's so cool when we get to watch that. And I don't know if this happens for y'all or not, but it does for me. And you're tuning to them and you've just had this big aha moment between the child and the parent. And you're just like thinking, you're watching them and you're like, please hug them. Please hug them. Please hug them. And then they do. Like, they take just a little bit too long. And you're like, I'm going to wait this out. I'm going to wait this out. And then they do. And you're like, yes. And I think that's the coolest, because sitting in those quiet moments, it's like sometimes their brains and their hearts need those extra few seconds to like come together to go, oh, I want to be near this person.
Yep.
I want to be near this child of mine that I always say I baked that bread for almost 10 months. So I'm like, that is your loaf of bread. You want it. But I think those are the coolest moments where it's creating a connection that like there is no other option and I don't have to say it. There's no words for this, and telling people there's no words for this. It's just being there, holding, touching. We change our body chemistry. Our epidermis changes, right? Every time. And I love doing the counts. 3 to 5 seconds is about how long we have a typical hug. And I'm like, we're going 8. We're going in. And then I was like, let's change that body chemistry. I mean, that's much later. That's not in the beginning.
Well, Robyn, you're
Yeah.
talking about, how to slow down, how to unpack the bag, how to just be with people in the moment,
Yeah.
creating a safe place, because that can bring so much change. And that doing that, though, can be very, very difficult for us when we've been taught to do something or to try to fix something, or when we're so moved because our loved ones in so much distress. And this example that you're using is very activating, right? Because that's such a hard word. Like, I don't even know if I could imagine saying that word and you somehow just realized you're just going to sit in this moment with this gentleman. And you're making me think a bit about parents who, like, sometimes their kids are in so much distress, they say the worst of things, right? These little kids, the
Oh,
young
yeah.
kids, you say to a parent, I hate you, or I hate myself, I don't want to live anymore, I don't want to. Or
Mhm.
a child, I think of a client of mine whose child was just spewing such hatred for his sibling. And these are these kinds of moments that it's very, very hard to stay in and to make it about that person's experience, because internally we're having such a reaction, right? And you're saying, let's learn to step in the muck. Let's learn to step in the muck and just sit down there and be with. That can really make a big difference.
I think that's why my nickname was Pigpen for a long time, because I'm used to the muck.
Oh, so good.
Like,
So good. Willing to be in the muck.
yeah. Oh, I'll
Ugh,
get in, because that's their world. And they're
right,
letting me see it. When they say, I hate you, they want help.
right.
They don't want us to go away. They want help. They want help to be heard. They want help to be seen. And sometimes I see, especially with teens and preteens, it's almost like a test in a way. As a therapist, are you going to do what my parents do? Are you going to tell me stop talking? I'm going to say, yeah, you want this and you're not getting it. That makes so much sense that you would hate your mom right now. Yes. Okay. Because when she does this, this is what's happening and it shows up this way. And I'm so sorry that your body is not behaving very well with all those hormones. How rude. You know, it's a lot of that externalizing and then normalizing and just saying, listen, you say what you need to say. There's no punishment in here, no consequences. Like, get it out. Let's hold it. Let's hear it. I'd rather a kid tell me that than stay quiet. The quiet, when they're quiet in the room, that's more concerning to me than a kid that will explode. I'm like, bring on the explosion, Mount Vesuvius. We got this.
I love explosions too, Robyn. I feel so much security in the explosion coming out.
They're asking for us to say, please hold my hand. Please don't tell me that I'm too much, because that's the message, whether that's what their parents are saying or not. That's what they're receiving. And what a cool opportunity to also model for a parent that's in distress to say, this isn't about me. This is about my kid is really struggling with something and they're talking to me so that I can find a way to understand this. And it's like, come on, it's okay.
Yeah. And I think you're so spot on there. This is their kid talking to them, talking to the parent. And sometimes the parents need the reframe on that, right? They need to be helped to see how this is their kid risking and reaching. This is their kid talking to them. And it looks and sounds a certain way in this moment. And it doesn't sound soft and tender. And, it doesn't sound like that. It might sound like an eruption. And helping parents understand this is a distress call. And I
Yeah.
can tell you, I have done that exact thing in family therapy when I was 16. And I got
Yes.
no help.
None.
No help from my parents. And I got even less help from the clinician.
Oh,
So when
I
I
still
have
remember the
those,
name of mine.
yep, you have not a similar experience, it sounds like.
Yeah. I remember saying to her, I don't know why you suck, but I'm going to find out. And I did find out because I became a therapist and now I know. And she did suck.
I have the same, I came to the same conclusion with mine, Robyn.
Yes.
I know why this is not good right now. Now
Yeah,
I know
I know
why that
now.
was not good. I know now. And I know what not to do. And more importantly, I know what needed to be done.
Yes.
I know what I needed. And I know what didn't happen.
Yep.
Wow.
I think parents see the reframe of that distress call. Whew,
Mm.
time to get in there, clinician. Time to get in there. Time to help that parent. Help with that reframe. Your kid needs you. This is it.
So as we're talking about like slowing down and being with people in their distress, whatever that looks like what do you think was happening for the clinicians in your two examples when you were growing up? And how do we help clinicians to show up like the way that Robyn's learned to show up now, right? No, I can see why they call you Mary Poppins. And Mary Poppins got dropped into the hardest of situations with chaos in households, and she somehow brought just love and a spoonful of sugar, and magically things started getting cleaned up a little bit, right? But she didn't seem
The last
intimidated.
song, I may or may not sing that in my car by myself sometimes, but I'm not confirming or denying.
It's a great song. It's a great song.
So say that again.
What do you think
What
was
was the
with
experience?
your therapist? What do you think it was like to be the therapist in that moment, and what happened inside of them that made them not able to see Rhonda's cry for help, your cry for help?
I think she was terrified. I think she was absolutely terrified. I think everything that she learned to say, this therapist script that she was given, was not working the way that her teacher said it was supposed to work. And she was definitely biased towards my mother to understand what was going on. Like, it became a very, like, part of the family against myself. I was the scapegoat, like the bullseye was on my back, and so that became very, very clear. She fell into that narrative without being curious, without kind of saying, there's like this 10-year-old girl sitting by herself on a couch with these other two coming at her. Like, maybe that's strange. Maybe that's not a great idea. I don't know. And so it ended up being like 3 against a 10-year-old, which I retaliated, throwing chairs. But but what else are you going to do? But my behavior
You were
was
fighting
solving the
back in the
problem.
way that you could, right? Like fighting back in the way you
Yeah.
can.
I mean,
Protesting in the way that you can.
I still pat myself on the back a little bit for that. Right. Like, but it was creating this us versus them approach, and it was fulfilling a narrative without any kind of curiosity. There was no genuine desire to understand what everybody was saying, and where there was no I mean, so many of the things about EFFT that I love, there was judgment, there was criticism, there was no curiosity, there was an easy narrative. Here's a girl that's just not behaving and she's choosing to. So it was very top down. You need to behave. You're causing your mom stress. Really? It was just very like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And so there was no discovery. There was no, like, I never felt seen. I never felt heard, because no one was trying to see me and no one was trying to hear me. And so I think those are foundations for people, period, that really only, I'm going to say it, EFFT, the EFT model, is really the only one that focuses on seeing and being with a client. Sorry, slightly prejudiced, but that's okay. I just think that how many times I've had clients in my office go, yeah, you get it, right? Don't you understand what I'm saying? Yes, I do. Because I want to understand what you're saying. I want to speak your language. I want to. I don't have to be here. I want to be here. Same for you. Thanks for walking in the door today again. You didn't have to. Like, I think that's just such a big piece to really honor humanity, and to honor that people are, we all have free will. We're constantly making choices. And so I just think that's honoring that humanity. EFFT is really, or EFT, all of it, but EFFT especially is for a family. That is, I like that. Thank you for using the word chaos, Catherine, because it is. It's being, as Gail Palmer says, it's important to be able to walk into the chaos and have confidence in that and be like, okay, we got this. Oops, I just got a little bit too much into your cycle, so I'm going to back out. All right. It's being able to say an oops to handle a messy moment. And it's not the end of the world. It's not, I'm not right for this. It's just, oops, I was a human too. How dare I? Like, I just think that that is such an amazing approach, where I think as therapists, a lot of people are taught that we have to be super duper organized. We have to be always put together, always that. I can't do that even if I tried. So, it's kind of, it's just so light in so many ways that, like, we can have humor, we can have oops moments, that they don't define us. And we really truly are modeling in our own lives, what we're modeling in our professional too. So it's like, if it's not part of your DNA, I feel like it's not, EFT is not really your jam. It's like in you. When I listened to my externship and I did my core skills with Dr. Hawkins, and I remember the first thing I really noticed, he kind of pulled it together, as nobody's reading from their slides. They saw from their hearts. Like, the slides are there because we have to have them, but I'd never been in any training, and I've been in a lot of trainings that, like, wow, everybody's talking from experience and their own love for this. I mean, this is a part of who they are. This is not just, I'm going to read off of a slide. And I think that's just one of the most attractive things about it, is everybody truly loves it. That's, it's very attractive when you're looking for something, because it's like, wait, you love this. What do you love about it?
Well, I think that's a very encouraging message for our listeners, parents, therapists, people out there, because you're saying we do have it inside of ourselves, and we're all going to show up a little differently in those moments, but it's okay as long as we're authentically us and we come to a place of curiosity and safety and love. We can all find that place inside where we can understand and make space for a loved one's experience.
Yeah. We're modeling it too. It's just so cool. Everybody doesn't have to be so afraid to make mistakes.
I love that. And I'm thinking about what you said about the therapist in your example. And you said all the teaching and training she got wasn't working, right? Everything that her teachers told her, that script wasn't working. And I just think it's such an interesting conceptual thing to think about, of like, when your training, doesn't work, can you pivot? Can you shift your agenda, like kind of where we started, this top-down approach or an agenda or something? Can you shift to meet what's happening right in front of you right now and try something new, make a mistake, repair that rupture, do what you got to do? Keeping the most, I think one of the most important things in mind is who was just vulnerable in the room, and what does that person need? And if they can't come from the parents, it's got to come from me, the clinician. I've got to show this little person or this older adult, I see you. I know this is pain. I'm going to try to reframe this as the distress call to your loved ones. And if they struggle, I'm still going to respond to your pain in some way, somehow.
You create the rock in the room. It's making it safe for everyone to tether to the rock.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Simon and Garfunkel. I'm a rock, I'm an island.
Love Simon Garfunkel.
Right? Who doesn't?
Robyn, thank you so much for today's conversation. I really feel like it was a conversation about leaning into authenticity, coming into your own as a person, as a clinician, how that then impacts our work as clinician. Maybe finding a model that you resonate personally with, right? That really fits your walk in life. I know for me, EFFT and EFFT is definitely that for me. I find so much safety and trust in EFFT because it is a family therapy that the clinician must learn how to work with a parent. Got to be able to do that. You got to be able to be willing and able to lean into what happens to parents when they get activated and they have reactions. And for me, EFT is like, yes, absolutely, work with the parents. Every kid needs their parents. We got to help their parents with when they struggle so they can then turn around and respond to their kids. So thank you so much. It feels like finding a conversation about finding an authenticity for you as a person that then translates to your work. And this becomes this really beautiful feedback loop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Thank you so much, Robyn. You're lovely to be with. You're so fun and so authentic and just heartfelt. It's really lovely to spend time with you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thanks, you guys. All right. Bye.